an afternoon when I got a call from my agent who said that the people at the Danny Thomas office wanted to see me about playing a role in the Dick Van Dyke Show. And I remember it had been...
Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke were two of the most beloved figures in television history. Their on-screen chemistry in the classic sitcom The Dick Van Dyke Show was legendary, and for decades, fans speculated about the depth of their relationship behind the cameras. Recently, Mary Tyler Moore herself has confirmed what many have long suspected, that there was indeed a romantic spark between the two stars during their time on set. This revelation has reignited interest in one of television's most iconic partnerships, reminding fans that even the brightest on-screen friendships can have complex off-screen stories. For decades, viewers admired the playful banter and genuine warmth the two actors shared in the show, and this new confirmation added a layer of intrigue to an already fascinating history. While rumors had circulated for years, they were often dismissed as speculation, but Moore's admission gives the story new credibility. It is a reminder that behind every show, there are human stories, moments of attraction, friendship, and connection that fans rarely get to see firsthand. Before the revelation, Mary Tyler Moore had built a reputation as one of the most influential women in television. Her career was marked by a series of groundbreaking performances, including her titular role in The Mary Tyler Moore Show, which helped redefine how women were portrayed on TV. Meanwhile, Dick Van Dyke had already established himself as a talented comedian and actor, known for his energetic performances and charm. Together, their combined talent made The Dick Van Dyke Show a cultural phenomenon, winning multiple awards and capturing the hearts of viewers nationwide. However, what made their dynamic truly special was not just the script or their comedic timing, but the subtle chemistry that flowed naturally between them. Colleagues on set often remarked on the ease with which the two interacted, noting that their mutual respect and admiration translated into a palpable connection that audiences could sense, even if they could not put it into words. The confirmation of a real-life attraction adds context to these observations and helps explain why the duo scenes felt so effortlessly authentic. It is also a reminder of how life and art sometimes intertwine, creating stories that blur the line between reality and performance. Over the years, the speculation about Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke's relationship became part of television lore. Fans pored over interviews, behind-the-scenes photos, and anecdotes from other cast members, searching for any hint of romance. Some believe that Moore's charm and Van Dyke's humor naturally drew them together, while others suggested that the pressures of working long hours on a hit show may have intensified emotions. What makes Moore's confirmation so compelling is that it comes directly from someone who lived the experience. Her honesty sheds light on the nuances of working closely with someone over extended periods, particularly in an environment that demanded constant creativity and performance. In revealing the truth, Moore also highlights the challenges actors face when balancing professional obligations with personal feelings. The entertainment industry is notoriously difficult, with long hours, tight schedules, and high public scrutiny, all of which can amplify emotional connections. By speaking openly, Moore not only validates decades of speculation but also offers fans a glimpse into the realities of life behind the camera, reminding audiences that stars are human and experience relationships just like everyone else. This revelation has also sparked discussions about how Hollywood has handled on-set relationships over the decades. The Moore-Van Dyke story reflects a time when actors often maintained a level of discretion about personal matters, especially during the early years of television. Unlike today's social media-driven world, stars of the 1960s and 1970s had to navigate their private lives with care, avoiding public scandal while still forming meaningful personal connections. Moore's candid acknowledgement now offers a rare glimpse into that era, giving historians and fans a better understanding of the dynamics that shaped some of the most beloved shows in TV history. It also highlights the evolution of celebrity culture, where personal lives are often intertwined with public personas, and where revelations like this generate both intrigue and nostalgia. The public response has been overwhelmingly fascinated, with fans revisiting old episodes, reading biographies, and sharing memories of the duo's on-screen magic. It is clear that the story of Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke resonates not just as a piece of gossip, but as a reminder of the human emotions that underpin great television. Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke's confirmed off-screen romance also cast new light on the remarkable professionalism both actors displayed during their time on set. Despite their attraction, the pair managed to maintain the integrity of the show, ensuring that their personal feelings did not interfere with their work. Colleagues and crew members often remarked on the smooth functioning of the Dick Van Dyke Show, noting that the actors balanced humor, creativity, and their own emotions with grace. This ability to separate personal life from professional responsibilities is one reason why the show remains a timeless classic. Audiences were able to enjoy the witty scripts and playful banter without ever realizing the deeper layers of emotion behind certain interactions. Moore's recent confirmation adds a human dimension to the story, reminding fans that even television legends navigate complex emotional landscapes. It also speaks to their maturity and dedication. They understood that the magic of their on-screen relationship depended on collaboration, respect, and timing. While rumors and speculation had swirled for decades, it is only now, through Moore's openness, that fans can fully appreciate the depth of their connection. This revelation encourages a new generation of viewers to consider not just the entertainment value of classic shows, but also the real lives, emotions, and experiences that contributed to their creation. The confirmation of the rumored affair also allows fans to revisit the Dick Van Dyke Show with fresh eyes. Episodes that once seemed purely comedic now carry subtle layers of meaning, as viewers can imagine how real-life attraction may have influenced gestures, glances, or playful teasing between the characters. Moore's acknowledgement transforms ordinary moments into something more complex and intriguing, blending the boundaries between fiction and reality. Beyond the added intrigue, it provides insight into the pressures and emotional intensity of working closely with someone over multiple seasons. Television production is demanding. Long shooting hours, repetitive takes, and creative stress can create circumstances where personal feelings intensify. For Moore and Van Dyke, their ability to navigate these emotions while producing a highly successful show demonstrates not only their talent but also their emotional intelligence. Fans often forget that behind the laughter and humor on screen, actors must manage both the technical challenges of filming and the personal dynamics of their co-stars. Moore's candid revelation therefore gives audiences a more nuanced understanding of what it takes to succeed in a high-pressure creative environment while maintaining personal integrity and professional standards. Over time, both Moore and Van Dyke pursued careers that further solidified their legacy in the entertainment industry. Moore went on to star in The Mary Tyler Moore Show, a groundbreaking program that redefined the portrayal of women on television. Her character was independent, career-focused, and relatable, earning her critical acclaim and helping shape the cultural conversation about women's roles in society. Meanwhile, Dick Van Dyke continued a career in both television and film, starring in movies such as Mary Poppins and remaining a staple of family entertainment. While their paths diverged professionally, the lingering fascination with their earlier chemistry persisted. Fans frequently revisited the classic sitcom, analyzed their on-screen interactions, and speculated about the emotional truths behind their performances. Moore's recent confirmation therefore not only answers long-standing questions, but also highlights the enduring impact that their combined talent has had on generations of viewers. It reminds audiences that television is both a form of entertainment and a reflection of human relationships, full of subtlety, emotion, and complexity that viewers may not immediately recognize. Another important aspect of Moore's revelation is the cultural context in which the affair took place. During the early 1960s, television stars were often expected to maintain a flawless public image, and discussions of romantic relationships on set were largely private. There was intense pressure to avoid scandal and maintain the appearance of professionalism, particularly for women, who were scrutinized more heavily than men in the media. Moore's acknowledgement decades later provide perspective on the challenges faced by actors in that era, highlighting how societal expectations shape personal and professional decisions. By speaking openly now, she allows fans and historians to better understand not only the story of her connection with Van Dyke, but also the broader realities of working in Hollywood during a time when discretion was paramount. This transparency adds richness to the history of the Dick Van Dyke Show, turning what was once rumor into a documented part of television lore. Of fans' reactions to Mary Tyler Moore's confirmation of the rumored affair have been a mix of fascination, nostalgia, and admiration. For many, the revelation adds depth to the iconic The Dick Van Dyke Show, transforming familiar episodes into something more layered and human. Social media and fan forums have been filled with discussions about which on-screen moments might have been influenced by the off-screen connection between Moore and Van Dyke. Viewers are revisiting classic episodes, analyzing gestures, expressions, and playful banter with a new perspective, as if seeing the show for the first time. While some fans initially fear that confirming the affair might tarnish the legacy of these beloved actors, most responses have been positive, celebrating Moore's honesty and the human side of their story. People seem fascinated not only by the romance itself, but by the professionalism both actors displayed despite their personal feelings. The ability to separate work from private life and still produce such a high-quality, enduring show is a testament to their talent, dedication, and emotional intelligence. This discussion has also prompted fans to reflect on the broader context of Hollywood relationships, the pressures of fame, and the challenges of maintaining personal connections while working in the entertainment industry. In many ways, Moore's revelation humanizes a golden era of television, reminding audiences that behind every classic show are real people with emotions, struggles, and experiences that influence their work. It encourages viewers to look beyond the script and appreciate the complex dynamics that contribute to the magic they see on screen. Beyond the immediate excitement among fans, the confirmation has also renewed interest among historians, journalists, and biographers. Scholars of television history have long studied the Dick Van Dyke Show as a cultural phenomenon, focusing on its innovative humor, witty writing, and influence on subsequent sitcoms. Moore's candid disclosure adds another layer for analysis, revealing the interplay between personal dynamics and creative output. It highlights how emotions and chemistry between actors can shape performances in subtle but powerful ways. Biographers and entertainment journalists have taken note, revisiting old interviews, production notes, and behind-the-scenes photographs to document the history more accurately. This renewed scrutiny helped preserve the legacy of both Moore and Van Dyke, ensuring that their contributions to television are understood in a richer context. Moreover, it underscores the enduring fascination that audiences have with the human stories behind entertainment, showing that even decades after the show aired, viewers remain invested in learning the truths about the lives of those who brought these characters to life. By confirming the affair, Moore not only sets a record straight, but also strengthens a connection between fans and the history of television, proving that personal narratives are as compelling as on-screen drama. Behind the scenes, colleagues and crew from the Dick Van Dyke Show have shared stories over the years hinting at the warmth and close bond between Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke. While few openly discussed any romantic connection at the time, out of respect for privacy and the need to maintain professionalism, the camaraderie on set was unmistakable. Crew members often describe moments when Moore and Van Dyke would share genuine laughter during long shoots, help each other rehearse lines, or quietly encourage one another before challenging scenes. These subtle acts of support contributed to the effortless chemistry audiences adored on screen. Now, with Moore's confirmation of the affair, those behind-the-scenes observations gain new significance. What might once have seemed like simple friendship or playful teasing now carries a weight of romantic undertones, offering a more complete picture of life on set. Importantly, the revelation also highlights the maturity and professionalism of both actors, who ensured that personal feelings did not disrupt production or affect the quality of the show. They were able to channel their emotions into their performances, enhancing the believability and charm of their on-screen relationship. For crew members and fans alike, this acknowledgement adds a layer of appreciation for the skill and restraint required to balance personal relationships with professional responsibilities, particularly in the high-pressure environment of a hit television series. The enduring fascination with Moore and Van Dyke's story also reflects the broader cultural impact of their work. The Dick Van Dyke Show was groundbreaking in its writing, humor, and portrayal of everyday life, setting standards for sitcoms that followed. By confirming the rumored romance, Moore connects the personal history of the show with its artistic legacy. Viewers are reminded that the creative magic on screen was not only the result of talented writers or clever scripts, but also the product of real human emotions, subtle chemistry, and genuine interactions. This insight allows fans, critics, and historians to re-examine the show through a richer lens, appreciating both its entertainment value and the complexity of the relationships that made it possible. The revelation also sparks reflection on the dynamics of television production during the 1960s, a time when actors had to navigate public perception carefully, especially when working closely with co-stars of the opposite sex. Moore's openness, decades later, serves as both a historical document and a personal reflection, providing a rare glimpse into the emotional realities behind some of television's most beloved moments. For a new generation of viewers, the story is as fascinating as the show itself, proving that the personal lives of stars can deepen our understanding of cultural icons and the timeless programs they created. The confirmation of the rumored affair between Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke also invites reflection on the enduring legacy of their on-screen chemistry. Even decades after the Dick Van Dyke Show first aired, audiences continue to admire the playful, affectionate dynamic between the two stars. Moore's admission provides context for that magic, showing that their connection was not purely professional. It had real emotional depth. This revelation helps fans understand why certain scenes felt so authentic, why the comedic timing was impeccable, and why viewers could sense an unspoken bond that transcended the script. It also highlights the skill both actors possess in balancing personal feelings with performance demands. Maintaining professionalism while navigating emotions on set is no small feat, especially during a high-pressure production that required long hours, multiple takes, and consistent energy. Moore and Van Dyke managed to transform that emotional tension into performances that felt effortless, endearing, and timeless. For fans, the knowledge of a real-life attraction enhances the viewing experience, allowing them to appreciate not only the humor and storytelling but also the authenticity and subtle nuances that their relationship brought to the screen. Moreover, the story resonates with modern audiences because it speaks to universal human experiences, attraction, admiration, and the challenges of balancing personal emotions with professional responsibilities. While today's entertainment industry is far more open, social media-driven, and scrutinized than in the 1960s, the emotions Moore and Van Dyke experience remain relatable. Viewers can empathize with the tension of feeling close to someone while needing to maintain boundaries, especially in collaborative work environments. The fact that they were able to navigate these challenges successfully adds to their stature as professionals and as individuals. In revealing the truth, Moore provides a glimpse into the real lives of television icons, showing that behind the laughter and applause, there were personal stories filled with complexity, emotion, and subtle drama. This honesty also reinforces why audiences remain fascinated with the history of classic television. The programs they loved were not just entertainment, but reflections of real people, real emotions, and real relationships. By connecting the on-screen magic with the off-screen reality, Moore ensures that fans gain a deeper appreciation for both the artistry and humanity involved in creating a beloved show. Finally, Moore's candid acknowledgement of a connection with Van Dyke serves as a reminder of the power of transparency and authenticity in storytelling. It encourages audiences to consider the human element behind every performance and highlights the sacrifices, restraint, and emotional intelligence required to succeed in television. Beyond confirming a decades-old rumor, Moore has provided a window into the inner workings of one of the most iconic sitcoms in history. This revelation enriches the cultural legacy of both actors, ensuring that future generations will not only enjoy their humor, but also understand the personal dynamics that contributed to the timeless charm of the Dick Van Dyke Show. For fans and historians alike, the story emphasizes that behind every memorable performance are real people navigating real feelings, creating moments that endure far beyond the studio lights and cameras. The confirmation of the rumored affair also invites a broader reflection on Hollywood romances and how they have been perceived across different eras. During the 1960s, relationships between co-stars were often kept private,